welcome back to my channel. My name is Rudi and thank you for being here. In today's video, I come at you essentially barefaced with very irritated skin. I want to start off by saying that literally I'm making this video because I have done a few of these things over the past few weeks trying to deal with some acne that has now turned into a huge irritated rash on my forehead. And I really want to read these back to myself so that I know not to do this in the future, and so also if you're in the same place as me, you can avoid the possible irritation that comes in the future. Some of these habits are deeply ingrained within us because of marketing, because of the way that people tell us to treat our skin, because of influencers, and because of simply our emotional state and not being able to understand that things take time to heal. You know, skincare is called a journey for a reason. It takes years to determine, what your skin type is, but also the right products for your skin. And so there are some things that you might do along the way that, cause you to go back in your journey or to push you forward. I just posted a poll on my channel this morning asking, with skincare, do you believe less is more and you like to stick to a simple routine, or do you like trying out new things often and mixing up your products? That poll is still live, so by the time I start editing this video, I will put the results in somewhere here. But if you like to be a part of my channel and be a part of our polls, please subscribe. It helps me out so much and it helps me determine what kind of content I should make on my channel. Also, if you like my shirt, you must be a 90s kid because this shirt was literally made for me. Not only is it tie-dye because we're #trendy, it says SpongeBob in 1999 on it. I was born in 93. You do the math, sweetie. It's perfect. It's perfect. I'm sitting in front of a window and we all know that I need less sun on this irritated skin, so let's get started. All right, the first habit that I had to break and that still makes me crazy because I want to do it is buying skincare products that have been promoted from influencers or online because they're popular, even though they probably don't match your skin type. There are a lot of people online who have different platforms telling you what to buy based on your skin type. And if we bought everything that people told us to buy because we have oily, acne-prone, and sensitive skin,
our faces would literally explode.
I want you to know that just because a product is working for you and it's boring doesn't mean that it's not an effective product. I would say that my routine should be considered very boring. I use products that are dermatologist tested and dermatologist recommended, like Cetaphil, CeraVe, products that truly in the marketing world would be considered boring. And they have done the absolute best for my skin. Does that mean that I haven't wanted to try other things in the past? Of course, I have a whole video on products that you should avoid while you're on tretinoin. And honestly, a lot of them are things that you should avoid in general, I feel, but I've tried all of them. I had purchased all of those in hopes that it was going to make my acne clear up, when the truth is everyone's skin is different. Regardless of if you and I both have oily, acne-prone, and sensitive skin, but we have different DNAs. So, using salicylic acid on my skin may not work for you. The popular products a lot of the time are popular because they look very cool and someone is telling you to buy it. But if you know that something works for your skin, ignore it, which I know is easier said than done, but sticking with a routine that has truly worked for you in the past with products that are boring, honestly, is better, and it's gonna be a lot cheaper in the long run as well. Number 2 is really probably the worst one on the list, and that is trying to dry out your acne in the sun. I don't know about you guys, but growing up, I was under the impression that if I sat out in the sun for hours a day, that my acne would just flake off and dry away, which for some people that does work. But for others, if you have super sensitive skin like me, it actually exacerbates your acne.
The sun is literally the devil
when it comes to your skin, when it comes to aging, and when it comes to irritation. And just like the next person, I love to have a little bit of a glow and a little bit of a tan. I did just buy the Drunk Elephant Debronzy anti-pollution serum. I'm gonna put a review on this channel, so if I have already filmed that, I'll link it up above. I'm interested to see how I can sort of incorporate that bronzy glow without being in the direct sunlight. Honestly though, trying to dry out your acne twice now in the past couple years has made my acne 10 times worse. Before I started tretinoin and I still didn't know so much about skincare, I was still under the impression that it was a good thing to dry out your skin in the sun. I went to my friend's pool and I laid out.
I can't believe I'm gonna say this. Oh, Leah, you please don't come for me.
I laid out in the sun without sunscreen for like 4 hours thinking that, oh, tomorrow these will all be dried up. Turns out, honey, they were pissed. My skin was never worse than it was then. And honestly, I've noticed that in the summer, my acne flares up more than any other season because it's so hot and the sun is so angry, especially in the South, girl. I use Paula's Choice SPF. I will link it down below, but I'll also put a picture on the screen. This SPF has been so great for my oily skin. I feel like it actually keeps my oil at bay during the day. It has a slight skin tone tint to it. If you have darker skin, I don't know that it's gonna work for you. It may be better to go with a chemical sunscreen that actually just blends directly into the skin, but I love it. It works really well for my skin and it hasn't caused me any irritation despite the fact that I have incredibly sensitive skin. Number 3, I am so guilty of doing this, and that is overusing a product once you realize that it has given you a positive result. This can definitely apply to tretinoin, but to me, it's mostly applied to active ingredients and masks for acne. For example, part of the reason that I'm dealing with so much irritation is because I had a few pimples and I went crazy and I bought a sulfur mask that was recommended by Dr. Dre, and I'm planning on doing a whole video on products that Dr. Dre made me buy, so look out for that. But I bought a sulfur mask and I put it on one night, looked really good the next day. I feel like my irritation was like going down, my acne was looking a little bit better, and so of course what did I do? Applied it the next night. Of course, the next day, my skin was super red and irritated because sulfur is a very drying ingredient. And so I just always feel like whenever something is good, I do way too much of it. So I would say this is the too much of a good thing is a bad thing ideal here. I also think this is the case with tretinoin. Once you see things starting to clear up, you may be encouraged to up the strength or up your nightly use of it, which I get questions on all the time. And I would say if things are going well for you and you're not developing more acne, I would stick with however many nights you're using it and do a consistent schedule before you decide to up your percentage, just because it is such an irritating medication. The next one, also incredibly guilty of, which is over-researching things on YouTube or Reddit or Google. Have you ever gotten into a hole of research where you have watched every single video from Dr. Dre, Hiram, Susan Yara, Leah Yu, and you literally can't keep your thoughts straight and you have fully convinced yourself that you have fungal acne, regular acne, contact dermatitis, eczema, everything that they have presented to you, you're like,
Yes, that's me. I have it.
if you have, welcome to my brain. It's so easy to see people tell you, oh yeah, if you have this symptom, you have this problem. When in actuality, the skin is a very difficult thing to understand. And if you're not a licensed dermatologist, it's really difficult to tell you that you have one thing or the other. For example, part of the reason why I have so much irritation right now is that I was convinced that I was developing fungal acne. Did I call my dermatologist? No. Should I have? Yes. What happened? I applied shampoo to my forehead. I applied sulfur and it got so incredibly irritated and red that now it's a huge mess because I was watching way too many videos, and that includes my own videos. I think we all need a little bit of a break from the YouTube skincare space sometimes, just because it can get a little bit, overwhelming.
My channel, hit the notification bell so that you can see my videos
kind of
every single week. Today's video is going to be a continuation of my how to skincare.
It also causes you to have a lot of comparison with other people, not only in the comments, but people who are commenting on Reddit threads saying that something worked for them. And when it doesn't work for you, you become increasingly upset and irritated and you don't understand what's happening with your skin. And we stan all of these people, okay? We stan Dr. Dre, we stan Hiram, love Leah Yu. But I'm just saying it may be helpful for your mental health and for your skin health to just take a step back from over-researching. This one I do every single time, and I don't understand why I can't break this cycle, but it's trying too many things at once when your skin is breaking out. When you change up your routine very quickly and all at once by adding in new treatments, a new moisturizer, a new mask, and a new supplement, it's really hard to tell what's actually working, and you may be overworking your skin with all of these new ingredients, causing it to get worse. This totally happened to me last week when I bought the sulfur mask, I bought a new supplement, and I bought the Great Barrier Relief from Crave Beauty. I started using it all at once, and you guessed it, my skin got way more irritated. I don't know if any of these work for my skin just yet because I added them all at once. And so now I have these products and I feel afraid to use them. Not only do I stop them all, but it's a waste of my money because I bought these products all at one time, started incorporating them too quickly, and now I don't know when I'm going to have the chance to use them again because my skin is too irritated. I would say from experience, the best time to try and incorporate a new product is actually when your skin is doing its best. When your skin is feeling really good and you don't have a lot going on in terms of irritation, it's a good time to try and layer in a new product and see how your skin adapts to it. If you don't have any breakouts or irritation, then you know in the future when you are breaking out that it's safe to use that product. But if you try and fold it into a routine that's already too robust with new items, you're not gonna be able to tell what works for you. I know this one is hard and I do it all the time because you're so desperate to get something to work. It's really only going to make things worse. And when you're going through a time of purging or irritation, the best thing to do is to keep things simple and to literally treat your skin like a baby skin. And the last thing I wanna touch on is something that I've noticed myself doing, but also something that I've noticed you guys saying in my comments, especially on my tretinoin results and tips video. Everyone is trying to achieve this word, and that is flawless skin. And I would do that as well. And by that, I mean, even when my skin was at its absolute best, the best it's ever been, I would still think, what can I do to make it better? How can I get it to be flawless? You know, it's clear right now, but I still have acne scars. I still have big pores. I still have this. I still have that. How can I make it flawless?
Honey, you know what happens next.
Every time I have tried to go above what my skin is capable of doing, I have ruined my skin and had to start all over. Here's an example. Last year, when I had pretty good skin before my tretinoin experience, I was like, you know, I should just try Clarisonic and see if it can get my pores to be smaller, you know, whatever. And so what happened? I used a Clarisonic and it made my skin so irritated that I started my first round of acne. All because I couldn't accept the health of my skin and realize that healthy skin is actually the goal and not flawless skin. Also, just a side note, Clarisonic went out of business last week. Not only was I shook by that, but I was like ready to have a party because, oof, I hated Clarisonic. If we can move our motivation from flawless skin to healthy skin, I think that's gonna help people not only with the way that their skin is and how they react to it as far as putting products on it, but also the mental state that you have and the relationship you have with your skin. I know that when your skin is doing poorly, you feel bad about yourself and you feel ashamed. And so having healthy skin as the goal is something that we can always work towards, but knowing that it's never going to be flawless, especially if we have acne prone skin, like I've said in the past, it's a relationship that we have with our acne that's probably going to last a lifetime. So working towards using the word healthy instead of flawless has really helped me in the past in understanding that it's a battle, but it's also a relationship that I'm going to have to continue on with. So let's try and replace the word flawless with healthy in our vocabulary and see if it helps us with our mental health and also our skin's health. Let us know down below if there are some skincare habits that you've recently had to cut out of your life to get closer to healthy skin. I'm sure we can all learn from one another, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.